Yo, 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 what's going on, Game Changer Network? Um, Another episode of Dante Stories. Excuse me, Dante Dog Stories. And as you can see on the title today, we'll be talking about human and dog interaction. Probably be a very exciting show. If you want to join, I just dropped the comments on the Facebook link. If you're on YouTube, um, look for the link as well for the StreamYard link. If you want to join the show, you want to talk. Get some of your questions in. Of course, put some of your questions in the comment box and I'll answer them. But for right now, let's get right into it. I want to thank 300cruises.com for sponsoring this video. And if you're looking for extravagant travel, 300cruises.com is the way to go. So please look into that if you're looking for extravagant travel. Um, and of course, right into it. Dog of the day today. Great Dane. A lot of you may already be familiar with the Great Dane and um, what the Great Dane consists of has been a large breed dog, a very big dog. So if you're looking for a big size dog, Great Dane, you definitely won't miss when it comes to the size. Although they are big, they are known for being lap dogs. So you can imagine a 130 to 40, 50 pound dog sitting in your lap. Very big dog, but very lovable as well. Um, but with their size comes with a little bit of health issues that normally don't come in a lot of other dogs because of their size. Great Danes are prone to bloat because how their body is structured, and a lot of times, after a dog eats and goes play, run, whatever, those are critical times for that dog to catch bloat or to go through bloat. Uh, so Great Danes are one of the breeds that are actually prone to going through bloat because of how their body is structured. Um, they don't live as long as most breeds. Again, it's because, like I say, just within the breed, they deal with kind of a lot of health issues. So if you typically get a Great Dane to live past like 8 years old and still be healthy with minimum um, health issues that have to receive vet attention, you've done a very well job of maintaining your Great Dane that I've seen in my experience. But when it comes to intelligence, very, very intelligent dog. One of the best dogs that I've trained and had experience with over the quality of breeds. Um, Very, very intelligent. I think they don't get enough. Um, I think, of course, everybody speaks on their size because of how big they are, but I don't feel like they get enough acknowledgement on how smart they are too. Um, can they be protectors of a home? Um, I say more of a alarm dog. I don't see. I think the Great Dane is kind of too lovable to really protect in a way that people probably would want. So I think they're more of a just like an alarm dog. They got that big bark. So you're gonna hear that somebody's on the premises. And of course, they'll fend off a lot of people who are thinking about coming onto the premises when they see a dog of that mass and that stature. So, but overall, the Great Dane's a great family dog. So if you have a family scene, um, I of course prefer it with older kids and kids that are able to be around larger dogs. Of course, you probably don't want a Great Dane if you got toddlers or infants around because of the size of the dog, unless you've already had that dog for a while. But if you just had a baby and you're thinking about getting a new puppy, the Great Dane's probably not one to go with because of what they consist of when it comes to just their size. And sometimes they can be very rambunctious and clumsy with how they move and things. And if not trained correctly, uh, that can get out of hand real fast. So Great Dane's the dog of the day. Great dog, one of my favorite breeds. And on to the topic of the day, which is human and dog interaction and of course relationships. Um, and the reason we're talking about this today is basically because in the last episode I explained what I seen during Thanksgiving and visiting family members, strangers' homes, and the ones that had dogs and what I seen. And if you've already caught the last episode, you know it was pretty interesting on what I was saying as far as the relationship between the dogs and the people. And I just want to highlight, of course, some of those things today and go over some of those things for the week, really, to detail how humans can create a better relationship with their dogs and sustain a balanced relationship with their dog and create a relationship where you're not stressed out having to speak to your dog or ask them to do something or just the simple things of just having the dog around. I see a lot of people make it hard on themselves because they really don't understand what the human and dog interaction really is and where it comes from and how to think about certain situations when this comes about. So we're gonna kind of get into some of the details of that. In no particular order, of course. We're just gonna break down the most um, common aspects of what happens between dogs and humans. Um, Again, in the last episode, of course, I brought up coming into a home. When you first come into a home with someone that has dogs, whether they are controlled or not controlled, whether they have boundaries or not, or whether they just over excessive playing or things like that. Even if the dog is shot, that could cause issues as well. And we'll get into that as well. So, to start off, one thing that I feel like people should always understand, um, and the number one question that'll always be brought up, especially when me speaking on this type of terminology as far as the human and dog interaction, I'm going to always ask, how does that relate to them in the wild? And what that question is asking is, when I say that, that specific action of what that dog is doing, how does that relate to them in the wild? What about what they're doing when they're doing said action relates to them in the wild? And I think this is a key component in the dog and human relationship because oftentimes humans, of course, like to humanize dogs and they don't think about well, how would it be in the wild? And a lot of times, you get the pushback of, well, we're not in the wild, right? And that's fine and dandy. That's cool. I understand we're not in the wild, but the thing is the mentality behind it that you have to have a good relationship with your dog. You have to understand that we are not in the wild, but the more you associate with them being in the wild and bringing it to your everyday life, the easier you'll make it between just as far as the communication with your dog. I know in a couple of videos back, I said I don't whoop my dogs when they use the bathroom in a certain area, and I know they got a lot of feedback on it within my DM, within the comments that I posted a video clip of that video, and a lot of people, chimed in and said what they do and what works for them. Now, I'm a firm believer in sticking with what works for you. Go for what you know for sure. And like I said, that's just what I do. I don't whoop my dogs when they use the restroom because of the communication I'm trying to build with my dogs. It's a different type of communication. Um, and when I think about it, in the wild, there's no anything in the wild that's gonna come by and whoop a dog with a newspaper or slap him with a hand for using the bathroom in the wrong spot. It just doesn't happen. So if you think about it like that, you're like, oh, it kind of makes sense. So every time I yell at them, this is something completely different from what they would experience anyways. It's completely new. Yet it may work for you. Like I said, go for what you know. I'm just speaking on my end. The communication that I'm trying to build with my dog, I don't want the yelling to get misinterpreted with just a demeaning factor of me telling the dog something. Because me yelling, I may be in an area where my dog is across the field, and me yelling just is me trying to get that dog to come closer to me. But if I'm yelling in a time where I'm trying to correct my dog and get them trying to understand something in a frustrating way, they may take that the wrong way. They may take it as a demeaning manner. And then now, let's say I'm back in that same field, right? And that dog associates my yelling with a demeaning feeling. Do you think 50 yards away, if I call my dog and I'm yelling, think they're gonna want to come to me at that point? You think the recall is gonna be good on that dog? Probably not, because of that reason. So I want to only associate positive energy and positive things to a dog as far as affirmation. So if I'm speaking to a dog, I definitely don't want to be yelling at them. I want to be speaking to them in a way where they can feel my energy, not like a baby would, or like how you would talk to a baby, but in a in a sense of direction. Like I'm talking to this dog. I'm letting them know, like, hey, I need you to come here. And the difference in that is I shouldn't have to yell. I shouldn't. The dog. If anybody knows, a dog's ears are great. They listen very well. Hey, shout out to AK Mike. My guy tapped in again for sure. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. So if you're on the Facebook and you're watching, please comment. You know what you feel about human interaction and dog interaction together. Um, Mike, let these folks know where you're from. Put your city on the map. And if you do come into the comment box, let these people know you're here and let them know where you're from. Continue to like the content and share it as well. But yes, as far as the interaction and my demeanor when I'm speaking to my dogs, I'm speaking in a way that I can say that's gonna grant positive reactions. I want to speak to them in a manner where I want to try to guide them, especially if you have a puppy. If you have a puppy, this is very key because this is the first knowledge of you're opening up the world. You're showing the world to this dog. So if you're showing the world to the dog, do it in a way that this dog is gonna feel happy about learning the world. That's one thing about it. We as humans, we get a dog and automatically we think what's best for us or what we see best fit for that dog. And actually, we should be asking ourselves, how does that relate to them in the wild? When have you ever seen a dog in the wild put clothes on? You don't see it. It doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, everybody likes to make that dog look cute and things like that. And like I say, if it works for you, if you don't get no feedback from it or no pushback from it, keep doing you. Keep putting clothes on your dogs. But that's something that I feel like when I see this, that's complete humanization. Um, okay, I'm gonna put my guy comment on here. AK Mike, um, Anonymous Kennels. Lovely, lovely kennel. Got some pups available, or maybe just one pup available now. I know I seen a try that he was recently had available. So if you're looking for an American XL bully, you see what he says, coming straight out the Midwest with some of the best XLs in the game. Y'all take in this free knowledge, bro. Given we all can learn something from somebody. No cap. I definitely agree with that. Most definitely. So y'all looking for some good dogs? Tap in with my guy, AK Mike. He's on the Facebook commenting. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and tap on his page, follow him, see what he has to offer. Like I said, he got a pup right now that he said it. When I was thinking it, when he said it, it's a pup that's definitely been slept on. So y'all check him out. But yes, um, matter of fact, we can speak on that. So AK Mike, he's selling puppies right now, right? Let's say you get one of AK Mike's pups, and you get that pup, and that pup comes to you, and you gotta build that pup. You gotta show that pup to the world. One thing about it, you want that pup to feel as natural about that process as possible. You don't want to bring on any stress to that dog. You want that dog to respect and honor you for what you're doing, not fear you for what you're doing. And a lot of times when we're yelling and we're hitting our dogs, that's what they get. They fear us. They don't respect us. They fear you when they do that. They may be listening to you out of fear. And that's really not what you want. You want your dog to respect you. You want your dog to honor you. You want your dog to feel good to be around you. So one thing about me, I typically take the first 6 months and just build trust with a dog. Especially now, like sometimes I might not even train a dog till 6 months because depending on the confidence of that dog, they might not be ready just to get trained yet because the type of demeanor that I'm at to talk to that dog, they may misinterpret it, right? And so a lot of times people have dogs and tell you like dog's trained, or you may see the dog and the dog reacts one way, and the person's telling you like, oh, well, I tell he listens sometime, or he listens to one person. No, that's a dog listens regardless. It shouldn't be if this person saying it or this person saying it. A command is a command. There's only one way to say sit. So when somebody's saying that, you got to understand that the dog is picking and choosing who they're going to listen to on purpose, because they've already tested the measure and the boundaries of that person or what they allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? Before they react in a frustrating way. And a lot of times people underestimate how smart dogs really are. Dogs are very, very intelligent creatures, and they can sense frustration on humans in particular. It's a whole different feeling. They feel our vibes, and we're talking about energy. Dogs are the main source, or the main, or it's just one animal that picks up on humans' energy. They're domesticated for a reason. They were smart enough to stick by humans for a reason. They've been around a while for a reason. This is not by mistake. Okay, we got another comment in the comment box. You're building a foundation when you're dealing with a pup. You set the boundaries and you set the outlook that the dog has on you and all people. I most definitely agree with that. You definitely have to, again, set the boundaries and set the outlook, because how this dog is presented to the world is based on you. So if you're taking your dog out into the public and they see a skittish dog or a shy dog, that's how they're gonna look at you as having that dog. You must Something must be wrong with that dog, or he must be doing something to that dog, or she must be doing something to that dog. In actuality, you just haven't built the confidence in that dog. You haven't worked with that dog enough to really build them up to feel good about themselves. Because every moment with them is a demeaning moment. Every time they use the restroom, they get yelled at. Every time they they dig on something or they bite on something, they get yelled at. And in the wild, this is what they're gonna do naturally. They're gonna bite on sticks. They're gonna rub their back against trees. They're gonna claw at things. They're gonna dig in the dirt. And so when they're acting in their natural sense, but they're doing it in our homes and we're yelling at them, or we're talking to them in a demeaning way, that creates a psyche for the dog that doesn't mix for a good balance or for a confident dog. And this is what leads to issues. This is what leads to the problems of people not being able to control their dogs. This is what leads to that, because you got to think like a you also got to think like in a while, but you also got to think as in a child's brain, because a dog grows rapidly for one, but those first couple of months, it's like a sponge, just like a child. So they learn them very, very quickly. And you got to think, if you tell a child no, 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 no so many times, they gonna buck at least one time just to try you. Same thing with a dog. That dog is gonna buck at least one time just to try you, because it wants to test your, excuse me, it wants to test your basically test your intelligence. And I tell clients this all the time: don't let your dog outsmart you. It's simple. Don't let your dog outsmart you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, like I might say, you the one that's gonna have the outlook for this dog. So you don't want to bring your dog around and look like your dog's smarter than you, or your dog is running you. I'm like, that's completely backwards. You're in control. Take control. But you have to do that by having good communication with your dog, so your dog won't make you look foolish. Got another comment by AK Mike. Overpowering a pup or beating a pup only hurts the confidence of a dog and ends up hurting them more in the future with confidence issues. And as y'all can see, Mike is clearly knowledgeable about just human and dog interactions. Because again, he's saying some of the same exact things that I'm saying. And it's for a reason, because he's been around dogs. He understands, okay, I know if I do this to a dog, or I've seen when I've done this to a dog, because I'm gonna tell y'all a story, and I probably mentioned it on the last episode, but most people come into owning a dog through their family, and they raise that dog how that family chooses to raise that dog. So a lot of times you do have situations where you see older family members who may not be in tune, like how we're going into detail with the Dante dog stories today, as far as how to relate to a dog or react to a dog. So, of course, we know plenty of people that beat their dogs and yell at their dogs, and it works. We're not saying that it doesn't work, but what we're saying is the results that you're getting are not the results that in the future lead to a good, balanced, and confident dog. And that's when you have the issues. That's when you have the situations of a dog lashing out. And we talk about it in any breed because it all works the same. Uh, but of course, if again we take a step back, we say, hey, why is the dog acting like that? Or why did that dog choose that? We do the research on that thing. We figure out why this dog is doing that. Then therefore we can react in a different way. So now I understand that if my dog doesn't really understand being yelled at and being hit, now I can actually fix my demeanor and my mentality and how I'm speaking to this dog. So if anybody's been around me or my dogs, I don't do a lot of yelling. Even in my videos, when I'm showing training videos, you don't see me doing a lot of yelling. Um, the main things that people don't pick up on in my videos is body language. And they ask me different questions, especially with my food ritual body language. But I mean, my food ritual routine that I do with my dogs. And if you've never seen that, that's when I have multiple dogs or one or two dogs, or just one dog. But the whole thing about it is just being patient, waiting to eat, and it's all based off my body language. The dog really doesn't go eat when I say go eat. The dog goes to eat when they recognize a certain body language that I give them. And it's like a break in their waiting, and them being patient. So, for example, I might have a dog, and how I'm training them. Of course, if they're already food driven, they already want to eat. So they're waiting on you to put that bowl down. So I understand that time right there is critical because I can teach this dog how to be patient at this specific time. And I'll create the best patience for this dog because I know for one, it's ready to get to this food. Again, let's go back. How does this relate to them in the wild? If you ever seen a pack eating, it usually is the alpha male goes in first after the kill. He eats, and everybody's patient. They're waiting because nobody finna go in while the alpha male eating and get messed up. So this is a part of that patience. Then the females, and then well, yeah, then the females, then the pups. It's a ranking system. Everybody has to be patient. Everybody has to understand this to survive, to live. Same thing when I'm feeding my dogs. Of course, I'm not eating the food, but the fact that I'm the one that's causing them to wait in their head, their mentality, oh, he's the alpha. That's how they're looking at it. He controls when I eat. And that's purposely done that way. I make sure my dogs are patient and they're waiting before they eat to create the sense that I am the alpha on the scene. You will not eat until you are patient enough to get this bowl of food. So think about that. AK Mike coming through with a question. When would you say is the appropriate age to begin training and socializing your dog or puppy? Okay. Uh, two-part question because I'm gonna start socializing prior to the training. And that's kind of what I was kind of getting into as far as that first 6 months is really more of a socialization stage and a building confidence stage. Um, because I want my dog to feel comfortable around me before I actually start doing the training. So socialization should start as soon as you get that dog, day one. Your body language and everything, how you even approach that dog when you first get that dog, that should be in your mindset and how you're receiving that dog. Anytime I go pick up a dog, in my mentality, I come a certain way, so this dog knows he's coming with me or she's coming with me, and it's a whole different mentality. It's a whole different feel. When I get to the house, I introduce that dog into the home a certain way, so they know, like, okay, these must be the boundaries of what's going on here. So socialization takes place day one. As far as those first, for me, the first night is always one of the longest nights with a new dog, and it's one of the most critical nights to learn that new dog, because that dog is reacting off instinct. It doesn't know anything about you. You don't know anything about that dog, and this is when this pup is going to be the most transparent. So when that dog first comes into your home, whether it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever the dog age is, socialization should be the first thing that you key in on. An appropriate age, I would say 6 weeks, just because at that age, I mean, a dog is ready to go into a home, and at that age, I've seen where I can actually teach dogs things, and I've seen dogs react to body language. Just as simple as a dog following you, or following behind you, and how you're walking is body language that you need to imitate as if I am the alpha. So when you walk with your chest out, with your head up, so they can see, oh, he's the guiding direction of what's going on. I need to be paying attention to him. So socialization starts, like I say, day one. As soon as you pick up that pup. As far as training, um, I typically tell customers I start training I can start training as early as 12 weeks. And the reason I say 12 weeks to a customer is because, especially if you're not knowledgeable about training, the earlier is always going to be better. Especially if you're going to be having your dog trained by somebody else, because you don't want them to become so attached with that dog or with that person that they lose sight. And then when they do come with you, the commands just don't work because you don't have the necessary, or that pup is grown so much that to the point they're not listening to you. They're not taking your commands. They'll take the trainer's commands, but they're not taking your commands. Typically, when you start earlier, dog really still green to the world. You can have a better impression on them at that time. So I typically tell people start at 12 weeks or 3 months. 3 to 8 months is the key window for training. Um, and that's typically because, like I say, that's when the dog's brain is like literally a sponge. It's soaking up everything, and it learns rapidly and quick. So it's a short window, but it's the best window I've seen that creates the best results. Um, and like I say, if you can get it to where you can socialize for those first 6 months, and then that 6 month to 8 month, just train them on basic commands, like that's usually key for me. Like that usually gets me exactly where I need to be. And for me personally, it's been easier because I've done it with other dogs that's been on the yard. So when I do bring on a new dog, now it's like clockwork. Like when I'm speaking on it, I'm telling somebody right now, or just speaking in general. But as I'm doing it, I don't think about it anymore because it's natural to me. Because I'm already thinking, oh, how does this relate to a dog in a while? I'm already thinking like a dog in a sense. So when I bring the pup on, I don't have to say much. I don't have to do much. Like my new pup, 81. I promise you, I've done no work with him, said nothing to him since he's been born. I think he knows his name, but I'm not sure because I don't really speak a lot to him. So the thing is, though, I know I can take him out. I've took him out in public. I've walked him around the neighborhoods, and he still listens to commands very well. His recall is good. So he may not know his name, but he knows when I'm calling him based off my body language. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I don't even say anything. He just comes to me based off my body language. And he also got that by seeing his mom, which I trained the same way, which she watched my eldest dog do. And it's kind of like clockwork. Like I said, they just watch each other. And now they picking up off each other. And they're, oh, he does that to get this. I'm going to do the same thing. And so now, like I say, every time I bring a pup on the yard, I just make sure they're around another dog. That way they learn from that dog how to bond and be in a relationship with me. So for me, it's become easy. So that's why I say for me, the age really depends on how that dog's going to trust me. But typically, what I would tell a customer, start at 12 weeks for the training, socialization. As soon as you get the dog, that's going to get you your best results. Uh, the main thing about the training part and what goes back to as far as human and dog interaction and relationships, dogs are repetitive creatures. They like to do things on repeat. That's how their mind works. So imagine a hard worker, a hard working employee, or matter of fact, if you're a SpongeBob fan, think about that Squidward episode where he moved to that nice community, and in that community, everybody looked like Squidward. Got up, went to work, went home, and did the same thing. That's how dog minds work. They don't mind doing the same thing every day. It fulfills them because in the wild, this is what they do. This is what that day is fulfilled of. They wake up in the morning, they stretch, they forage for food, they find the food, they eat, they nap, they clean up the Bay Area, then they're back to sleep until the morning. And it's on repeat. This is what they do every single day to survive. So for your dog, it's a simple life. Keep it simple. Don't make it hard on yourself. Um, a simple schedule as far as waking up in the morning again. Some of the best times to walk your dog is in the morning and at nighttime. Not only because in the summer times those are going to be your coolest times, and then in the winter times, it may not be the warmer times, but anytime in the morning when your dog is waking up, that first stretch is it's been proven that that's one of the best times to walk your dog. And then again, like I said, at nighttime, it's been proven that's one of the best times to walk your dogs. So keep that in mind. Build your schedule around something like that. Because I can tell you one thing, walking your dog builds a relationship with you and your dog in a manner that you may not expect. But you have to do it the correct way. So this all goes back into socialization. If you start young, as you get older, or as that dog, you and that dog gets older, the relationship and the bond that y'all building becomes very different when you apply it to the walks. And with every single client I deal with, I tell them they have to walk their dog every day. It's mandatory, or they will not get the results that they are going to pay for. It's just that simple because the schedule that I provide for the dog that I'm working with, and even my dogs personally, it requires walking for a lot of reasons. And this is big for dog and human interaction and relationships because a lot of people don't walk their dogs. And I'm talking about big dogs and small dogs. Yorkies and Great Danes like the dog of the day. You have to walk your dog. This is one activity that a dog highly enjoys. This is one way to decrease in the excessive playing, decrease in the excessive when you have guests jumping on you and things like that. Get the energy out of them. It's pent up. Get it out of them. The best way is doing it on a long walk. It increases the health of you and your dog. It decreases cardiovascular disease. I mean, if that's not a benefit, just by walking your dog out every day, you have a less risk of having a heart attack. That's too simple. That's too easy. That's a win-win. I mean, your dog is pent up. He gets to get the energy out, and you decrease on the health risk. You can't lose doing that. Walk your dog. So all my clients again will experience having to walk their dog as a mandatory thing within the contract before they even sign up for the training. If this is one thing you can't do, then this is a training that's not going to be for you. Because again, I schedule everything around the walk. And I always suggest 2 walks a day, 2 30-minute walks a day, which is an hour a day, which is not bad at all. But of course, people are busy. People have to do things, and I mean, it's life. So I would always suggest, of course, at least a 30-minute walk if you can. And some people can't even do that. And so then that's where you come into like indoor activities, whether it's chasing a ball, chasing a flirt pole, and then even when just working with your dog on the inside, having your dog sit in one room, telling them to stay and wait, walking in another room, then having them come find you. These are games. These are ways you interact with your dog, and you'll see the character of your dog actually start to shine more when you do things like this. You'll realize how smart your dogs really are when you do things like this. This is building the human and dog interaction and relationship with you and your pup. This is helping your dog understand and learn you even more, to want to be around you, to want to do things like that. Because when that dog wakes up, now it's like, well, what we gonna do today? Instead of who's the first person I'm gonna jump on today? Instead of what's the first way? What's the easiest way I'm gonna find a hole to get out of here today? Instead of how can I test something up today? You got to turn that energy into something else different to create a balanced relationship with you and your dog. That way, you don't have to be frustrated. You don't have to be stressed out. You won't have to yell at your dog either. It creates just for a better relationship. It creates for a better, confident dog. It creates for a better control for you as a person. Because I promise you, just like the activity I just told you, as far as having your dog wait in one room and then going into another room and having them come find you, you're creating patience within that dog. You're telling that dog don't come until it's your time to come. Now, when your guests come over and your guests are in one room, and you take that dog and tell them to sit and wait in another room, they do it. Now you create that boundary between your dog and the guest by playing a simple game. But again, if we go back to the last episode where I say, where I went over people's homes and I seen where the dog was just roaming and jumping on people and people had to get down, this and that. You won't have that issue when you take simple games like what I just said, put them into play while actually interacting with your dog, building a relationship with your dog, and training your dog all at once. So you can see how just doing socialization could lead into training. But we're just talking about commands. Like I said, 6 months. Go ahead and start it then. And then you see, like I said, as that dog gets older, the repetition in that dog, you should see it. It should come quicker and quicker and quicker. The time you tell that dog to sit, lay, whatever, should be ASAP. Because the dog is learning. And again, the dogs think off repetition. This is how they would think in the wild. Because this is how they live in the wild. It's not too. A dog don't think about getting money. A dog don't think about posting on Instagram. A dog don't think about posting on TikTok. Their mind's one track mind. They don't think about all the extras in life. They gotta wake up, survive, go to sleep, wake up again, survive, go to sleep. That's all they know. Keep it simple for them. That's the one thing about humans that we don't do. That's the humanizing part that actually creates stress for a dog. That actually creates frustration for a dog. And then they actually lash out and do things, and then we yell at them or we chastise them for what they're doing, because in our eyes it's wrong. But that's because we're humanizing them and we're not thinking like them and saying, well, what causes them to do that? What causes a dog to bite on your furniture? What causes a dog to eat at your shoes? What causes your dog to bark when you leave the house? Hmm. All this plays a factor. Because just like I said, when you leave the house, just like if a dog was in the wild and everybody leaves on one accord and they know when we wake up, we're going to stretch, we're going to forage, we're going to find food, and then we're coming back. Your dog's a pack like, it has a pack like mentality. They think like a pack because that's where they come from, a family, a pack. So when you leave the home by yourself, they automatically thinking, oh, he's going to do it by himself. For one, the anxiety comes from, again, that pack mentality. They want to get down and dirty with you. They want to help protect you if you're gonna need help being protected. That's how a dog rolls. That's what they want to do. And so then also the food aspect. They see you leaving the house, they think you're going to forage. Like, oh, we hungry too. And a lot of people don't put that together. A lot of these dog breeds still have a very wild mentality. And so when they see you leave the home and they associate the home as the den, and they see you leave, and then in their head they're thinking like, oh, he's going to forage, he's going to find food, he's going to be eating without me. One thing about the pack, everybody eat. You may gotta wait your turn, but everybody gonna eat. So if your dog thinking like, oh, he about to go eat without me, you can see the frustration that you can cause within your dog by having your dog think that. And everybody has to go to work. Everybody has to leave the home, especially they have to live life. We have to We have to pay bills, so that's understandable. But it's the things that you implement prior to you leaving and doing that could build a better relationship with your dog to decrease the anxiety in your dog. Again, walking in the morning before you go to work, having your dog's energy calm down before the day actually starts. Trust me, you won't run into those issues. Yes, your dog may still worry about you a little bit, but it won't last as long as it would without doing that. I promise you that. Because the dog feel like, oh, well, we actually did activity, so we actually went out already. We already stretched. We already foraged. We didn't find anything. We came back. On to the next forage. We didn't come back. And you exhaust the energy. The dog is not pent up in the head. It's like wanting to do stuff. You exhaust the energy. Walking is key. Walking is key. That's how you're going to build the best relationship with your dog. So that goes into the next thing. Learn how to walk your dog correctly. This is a big one. Because, again, this is where you can build the best relationship with your dog. But if not done correctly, this is when your dog can learn when to take over the control from you. Because the mindset that you have to have on a walk as a dog and as a person, and if you don't implement it, your dog will run all over you. And for everybody's watching right now, we got about 4 people that's watching this live. So I know Mike tuned in on the Facebook. So I know there's a couple people on the Facebook, and probably the YouTube as well. So y'all keep liking this video on any platform that you're on. Keep dropping your comments, Mike, and whoever else is watching. That y'all got any questions or anything like that. This show is sponsored by 300cruisers.com. So if you're looking for extravagant travel, check out 300cruisers.com. But learn how to walk your dog. Easy, simple task. But oftentimes we see what people are. If y'all look at the logo. You see the logo, the Game Changing logo. This is an actual picture that's made into a silhouette. That's me and Levi. And the reason I like this picture and I chose to make it the logo is because of what it represents. Not only represents Game Changing Kennels, which is one of the best kennels out, but it represents just a dog being walked correctly. You don't see my hand being pulled way out in front of me. You don't see the dog way behind me. We're side by side. And the actual picture, let me see. Don't look like I put the picture up here yet. Next episode, I would definitely have the original picture up here so I can see what's going on. But as far as the picture, as you see it now on the logo, the dog's right next to me, side by side. It's a reason for that. Anytime I walk my dog, unless I'm allowing them to walk in front of me or lead me, quote unquote, they always gonna be beside me. I won't continue a walk. I won't do a walk unless the dog is beside me. It's uncomfortable for me. It's frustrating to have a dog pull my arm. I mean, you gotta understand. Even if you got a dog that's 15 pounds on the end of that leash, them pulling you is still a strain. And so imagine walking an American Bully that's 100 plus pounds. It's not a good look. I don't care how big you are. So one thing about it, learn how to walk your dog. Retractable leashes, again, it may work for you, but retractable leashes send a bad message. It gives your dog too much leeway, literally. Like, it literally gives your dog too much leeway. Your dog won't have control as far as like when it goes into other people's yards. They're guided by their nose. A dog is guided by their nose. So they're following their nose anywhere they go. And if they're on a retractable leash where they can just pull that leash any direction and go anywhere, they're just going to follow their nose. They're not going to think about coming back to you if they already feel the lead is being stretched out so long that they don't have to come back and listen to you. It doesn't work like that. Get you a 5 feet leash. Dogs don't have to walk on retractable leashes. Harnesses or a harness. If it worked for you, fine. But look, a harness, get you a choke collar. Not a nylon collar. Get you a choke collar for the control. Not for the look, for the control. And I'm talking about even on small dogs. They make choke collars for small dogs as well. As small as Yorkies. Get you a choke collar. Harness. If y'all have ever seen like what's the snow dog? Yeah, snow dogs. If you ever seen snow dogs, those dogs have on what? Harnesses to pull a sled. It's the reason why the harness is built like that, to get the most traction up here around their shoulders, so a dog can dig in and keep moving forward. So when a dog has a harness on a leash, that's what they're thinking. They're not thinking to come back towards you. They're not thinking to be right beside you. They're thinking, oh, let me push forward. Unless trained otherwise. But a lot of times people don't even know how to put a dog on a regular leash and train them. So it's not going to be as easy doing it with a harness. All the control that you need is right up here. Can't get that with a harness. The harness comes here. You need to be in control of this because, like I said, a dog is guided by their nose. So you as a human have to think about this. This is how you're going to help your dog interaction and relationship. Knowing this, because a lot of times people think, oh, like a dog already smells what's coming up. So a lot of times the dog already knows where the direction of whatever dog is. They already picked up the scent. So you have to be in control of that before it even happens. If you got a dog on a harness, if you got a dog on a retractable leash, that dog's already picked up that scent. It's already wandering around. But you got a dog on a choke collar, and you're walking like in this picture, which Levi had a choke collar on, and the dog is head up, looking forward, not down, not pulling, because the choke collar provides that control. And I promise you, it's called a choke collar, but it doesn't kill your dog. Petal would not allow Walmart, PetSmart, any big time brand to sell these chains if it hurts your dog or harms your dog. Now, if you sit here choking your dog to death and not letting go, you can kill your dog. That's simple. But for correction purposes, it should be a simple snap and grab. Correct that dog, and you release it back to it being loose. There's no point that you should be holding or maintaining a choke on that dog with a choke chain. That is straight neglect. Like, that's neglect, dog. Don't do that. And that's not a correct way to walk your dog anyways. That's nothing that I'm promoting. But choke collars do provide the most control. And if used correctly, results do happen very swiftly. And the duration of that dog's life, you'll see how a dog reacts differently with a choke chain than any other device that you may use, whether it be a harness or just a regular nylon collar. But you'll actually see the difference in the dogs and how they behave and react. So, again, back to just walking your dog properly. You want your dog next to you, not in front of you, not behind you. You want to be in control of the walk. The best way to control the walk is having your dog close to you with a device or equipment, such as a choke collar, that maintains the most control. You want to be able to control the dog's nose when walking, because that's what's going to lead them. Not really led by sounds and eyes, but they're definitely led by their nose. Yes, they will see things and want to get at it. They will hear other dogs barking and want to get at them too. But you have to correct that. And I promise you right now, if you got a dog on a harness or a nylon collar and they like to bark between the gate, you won't have any control. It's hard to have control with a dog barking through the gate with a choke collar on. So I guarantee you, if your dog likes to bark up and down the gate, you won't have any control with a harness. You'll be like everybody else who runs past gates. When they see a dog, have to go all the way across the street just to walk their dog. Like, that's a hassle. When you walk past a barking dog, your dog should maintain his bearing. It should be looking forward as well. It shouldn't be looking to the left or right. It should act like that dog that's barking is not even there. If it doesn't, the dog probably lacks a little bit of confidence and you lack control. Because a confident dog knows that a dog behind that gate is only barking because they're behind the gate. It's kind of like the internet. A lot of times when people be saying a lot of different things that might be like out of pocket that they wouldn't normally say in real life, it's kind of how dogs do when they in their own territory. Like, they be barking behind the gate because they know the dog can't get to them and they know they can't get to the dog. So it's just like people on the internet sometimes. People be barking on the internet the same way because they sit behind the screen or sitting behind the phone. So now you understand how human and dog interaction actually plays hand in hand in some cases. And that's why I say, like, understanding dog relationship and interaction, you actually be able to think simpler about certain things and relate to your dog in certain ways. So you're like, oh, okay, that does make sense. Because somebody with high confidence that's unbothered, especially they're on the internet, they won't get bothered by comments and things like that on the internet. It won't happen because they know that this person's only standing behind this because they're on the internet. Same thing with a dog. A confident dog, an intelligent dog, it's gonna keep walking past that gate. It's not gonna be bothered by that dog barking because they know even that dog was to come out and get at them the energy that they project. It's not to harm that dog in any kind of way, shape, or form. So always keep that in mind. And I appreciate the folks that's watching. Um, if y'all looking for merch like this, like some of the stuff I got on right now, we got merch available. Gang Changing Kennels on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, you can look at my personal page, Donte Lemon, and contact me there as well if you want to get some of this merch. Um, and then, of course, if you're on YouTube, Gang Changing Kennels on YouTube as well. Of course, Donte Dog Stores is the platform. If you haven't checked out some of the episodes that already has came out, this is episode 6. Um, so check out some of the other episodes. Very, very new channel, but we got a lot of traction. So I definitely appreciate the people that do watch because y'all definitely sending the watch hours up, and I definitely appreciate that. And I most definitely appreciate the people that tap in, like Mike, who come in and very interactive with the show. So y'all continue, to reach out to me with questions and concerns and things y'all want to hear about for the next show. Again, this was something that we'll be talking about all week as far as the human and dog interaction, humanizing the dog. I hope I was able to drop a lot of things here today. And we just kind of jumped into it today with the basics. Like I say, just understanding that, again, a dog comes from the wild. We have to keep that in mind always. And that's how we have to relate to our dogs. And when doing that, you actually create a better sense of your dog understanding you and a better sense of communication with your dog. And tomorrow, we'll probably be deep diving in as far as the behaviors to watch for when dealing with a bad behaved dog. And of course, some tips on how to fix that once you've already kind of got over the hump and already been dealing with this bad dog. Uh, Not so much a new puppy, of course, because that's what I was kind of explaining today. And of course, a dog's brain being like a sponge, that's kind of easy to mold. So tomorrow, we'll be getting into the differences of that, and we won't be really speaking on a lot of puppies. We're going to be just speaking on dogs in general because maybe it's a puppy that you raised that kind of got out of control at some point, and that does happen too. So tomorrow's show will be based around that. So, of course, tips on how to fix certain things and how to peep out certain things, and how to move forward as far as correcting your dog. And if you've already built a less confident dog, how to kind of turn that around as well, because that does happen too. Um, So y'all continue to watch the show. Let me know who y'all want to see on the show. We'll be having some more interviews soon, with some nice dog breeders that I got lined up. So y'all be expecting that content very soon. If you want to get an interview and you're a dog breeder, reach out to me. If you're in Georgia, I'm doing in-person interviews. I'll come to you. If you want to show your yard, we can see your yard. If you don't want to show your yard, you don't have to. And if you want to just knock on an interview, we can do that as well. If you're in another state, I'm planning on doing in-person interviews in other states as well. Um, but for right now, everything is based off the stream yard if you're out of state. So we still can get us a quality interview in, but if we're doing it that way, I would definitely want to lock in and make sure we get a personal interview in too. So reach out to me if you want to get a dog interview, because I will be, like I say, traveling to other breeders so we can actually get a feel for what these people are, how they really living. Um, and everybody knows this is the platform where I'm trying to take the younger breeders and bridge them with the experienced breeders. So I want to be able to bridge the gap and put out a lot of information. And that's what we've been doing. We just went through the small episodes that I've dropped. That's what we're going to continue to do. So y'all gonna be seeing me on a lot of different people's yards that y'all may have never heard of. Of course, I'm a fan of the underdogs, so I will be talking to a lot of underdogs who are upcoming in the game. But I will be talking to some big time breeders as well, people that you may know very well. So y'all keep that in mind. Y'all keep supporting me, keep liking, commenting, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I appreciate y'all time. Game Changer Network, Donte Dog Stories. We're most definitely out. We'll see y'all next time.